is up, week 8. I never thought I'd say we'd get this far so quickly in this process. I appreciate it. It's been like several weeks you've watching me doing vlogs, but it's gone by relatively quick in the last few weeks. I think because the amount of cycles I've been doing and the length of each cycle has been longer and longer, meaning I just have had shorter gaps, and this has really flown by. So I think last week actually would have been my peak week of training, which I think sounds really odd to say, really good to feel. But I sort of pushed a lot this week and make this my longest week of training, especially the endurance ride, and then have a nice smooth taper. And yeah, still kicking the miles up. So today's an hour cycle, as you can see from my plan. It was nice and balanced today. I got a really nice kind of second wind in the second half of my cycle. I still feel a bit of exhaustion from the marathon. I know I wasn't running it, but I think just from having the long cycle on Saturday, no real recovery on Sunday, and being on my feet the whole day just meant my quads didn't have the time to recover the way that I think they needed to. But we still progress, and I think once you get on the bike, it just keeps going. But I can feel the tension near my knee just because it's in so much work and pain I put my quads through. Especially last Sunday cycle where there's so much climbing. It feels like a kind of a ghost pain. On the cycle as well, I actually stopped off near the end before my cool down to get a pair of cycling shorts, which is very important. I'm seeing so much like confliction on the Facebook groups for Ride London. I think some people are quite buzzed about this event, and some people first the amount of like worry or the confusion behind the event, or even just the pain, or even like wanting to pull out. I think that's the difference I've seen between this and the marathon. I mean, maybe just more vocally expressed for this event. I think it's quite hard to realize how intense the sport cycling is, and I've mentioned before many times, but just the idea of getting on a bike, you think it's very easy, but when you actually ride on the road surface, it's so high frequency in its input, a lot of like waves on the surface, and there's no suspension on a road bike. You absorb all of it, and it's physically quite a lot, and then to deal with all the elements and the traffic, and even just being hunched over for that longer period of time, it does take a toll. And I can see why it's a surprisingly difficult sport. I think on the face of it, you see a cyclist and you think, wow, it's easy, just keep pedaling, and it should make you go faster, easier. But it's not that easy, and there's a lot of prep work behind it, and a lot of muscular strength, muscular endurance, and mental endurance as well. So yeah, I think I can see why more people are having complaints or worries about this event, because it's maybe less well documented compared to running, or maybe still a new event in its infancy, Ride London. So I think people are still just trying to get familiar with what it actually means. So hang in there, keep going, you got this. I'll see you for next session. What's up, Wednesday? So it's been a really good cycle. I'll try some new cycling shorts, a bit more comfortable. I actually do quite a good pace today as well, staying above 3 kilometers an hour for the whole hour. And yeah, that's really positive, just because my quads just like hurting the whole time. I'm sure you're still gonna be saying, but it's really nice to be able to push a bit faster, a bit harder, and just see kind of the improvements I faced of being the manufacturer of the last 8 weeks in this program. I'm cycling faster for longer. Some of my early cycles in February and first start cycling this new bike were around 20 minutes, and I think I went too fast and I couldn't sustain that energy for a really long period of time. And I'm just seeing the progression and the improvement in my cycling. So yeah, I read it in today's cycle, and yeah, I'm quite proud of that. And most of the reason for that is, well, as you know, I volunteered for the London Marathon on Sunday, and I just saw the news today. One of the marathoners actually passed away, and it's quite a huge shock. That person did a sub 3-hour marathon, which is a Herculean effort and absolutely spectacular, and apparently passed away on the journey back. So my condolences to their family. It's like really sad news to stay here, and yeah, just kind of hit home like how intense these activities are. And I remember when we found out last year someone passed away at the marathon, mile 22, mile 23. I just remember the shock it kind of hit me with after the marathon, and yeah, it's not a pleasant thing to hear, and it's kind of just scary to realize how intense activities were, especially with someone so healthy. I know on the face of it, you sign up for activities, there are quite big races. But yeah, it's just quite a lot to hear and think about when you're like training. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, hope we can keep pushing and do some really great work this week. So take care. What is up, team? What is up? So today is Friday. I've just checked my schedule a bit because I've got a busy weekend for bank holiday in terms of training and trying to do a few other things. So I'm trying to shift back some of my training earlier possible. I apologize for the noise in the background. I'm trying to find a quiet place, and the sort of quiet place I can find. So you have to deal with the background conversation. Anyway, today's been a really nice day. It's the first day, I think, in a while that the training where wearing 2 layers has been too much, which is a good sign, meaning it's absolutely gorgeous day. It's really sunny. It's a bit windy, but it's really nice. Fingers crossed it doesn't get too much hotter than this for around London, because yeah, I think at that point one layer might even be like too much in terms of like trying to keep hydrated. But today, as you know, is a mixture of warm up, cool down, endurance, cycling, and really high threshold work. And I was really happy with that, actually, to be honest. I pushed really hard in the threshold section where I could. Obviously, to deal with the traffic and the road scenarios, but I was really happy with that. And it felt really accomplished cycle today. I still feel some fatigue and sort of in my muscles, but not as bad as I expected it to be. One top tip: pump up your tires. It sounds really obvious, but I increased the tire pressure by a few bar today, and because it was slightly flatter than what it should have been since my last cycle, it made a huge difference. It just felt so much smoother. You feel all the vibrations on the road more, and it's definitely a harsher ride, but it felt just so much nicer to be able to just go kind of pinging down the road where I could. I actually had really put a lot of effort into braking because there's just so much speed that's building up at points that I had to just be more intense in the braking scenarios. I'm actually braking a lot earlier than I expected to, just because of the amount of speed I was carrying today. So I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to bank holiday weekends or anything on the sun, I think it brings some of the worst drivers in the UK. It was just really annoying. A traffic light, I was pulling away, so when it turned to green, and there's a hill climb straight immediately afterwards, and 3 drivers consecutively basically pushed me to the curb. That's how little space it gave me. I think had it come any closer, I would have had to mount the curb. It was really tense. But overall, today's cycle was just amazing. I really enjoyed it. The weather's nice. As you can probably hear the breeze is kicking up a bit now. But it's nice to enjoy the sun a bit more and look at my tan, as well as just get on the bike. And yeah, it just felt really nice today. So bring on Sunday's long cycle, probably my longest cycle of this kind of length, because the next few weeks we start my taper period. So it's gonna be great. It means I get a bit more rest and I have a bit more carbs to recover and kind of start carb loading ever so progressively. So yeah, bring on Sunday's long cycle.